JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 13th of September 2022. So welcome everyone, welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, view the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation. It should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then, before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFDbrokers.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. Now then, guys, jumping into the charts, so the first one, as always, I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, so we got a nice push a little bit higher. Yesterday, the US indices closed in positive territory, and together with the European ones, and yep, that kind of had its little effect here as well on the on Nikkei. So for now, I would say yes, everything's looking fine. We're still shifting higher, but the pace has slowed down a little bit. So that means that, well, I mean, previously when I talked about this one, to be more precise, yesterday, I said that, look, I'm keeping an eye on this hurdle here, this 28,793 territory. If it provides somehow resistance, then we could see a little bit of a decline here, maybe towards this highlighted zone. And if that gets, if this is where the area, this is going to be the area where they're going to find some support. I'm talking about, the buyers here. So then, yeah, more of them could jump in and could start pushing the index back to the upside. Now, if we do clear this area somewhere around here, then yep, at the same time we could also drop below the 21-day EMA, and this could lead to a larger correction here to the downside towards this upside support line. But again, we need to see what's going to happen now. At this point, to be honest, I'm just observing this one because again, yes, I'm aiming for the upside, but given that we are very close to a key resistance barrier, it might not even reach this area. It might reverse a little bit earlier, for example. It could, do that. But again, if we do clear this area, or then yes, we could go higher. But of course, given the recent up move, a strong up move, we are going to be due for a bit of a correction at some point. But again, let's see what's going to happen here. And initially, I'm targeting this 28,793 territory. Shanghai Composite, guys, very quickly. So yeah, looking at this picture here, we can see that, well, yesterday China was closed. Today it's open, and we're seeing not a huge gain here, but hey, the fact that we are still in this veg formation is working. So this idea is working. So I said before, I'm waiting for a clear break through one of the sides of this triangle or veg pattern, if you wish, in order to go for the next short-term directional move. At the moment, I'm just observing this one, Alex, and I'm waiting for a clear breakout. ASX 200 continues to push higher, so great move here. We clear the 6,943 territory. I talked about this yesterday, and for now I'm targeting that 200-day EMA. Now, of course, my ideal scenario is to aim for that 7,117 zone, but for now, I'm just aiming for that 200 zone, and then I'm going to take it from there. If we clear that, then yes, I'll go higher. But if we somehow manage to drift back down, now previously yesterday I talked about this hurdle here, this area around that 6,700 zone. Yes, it still is the preferred one for me, but in the short run, for example, what you can do here is maybe keep an eye on this area, the 6,872 territory. If we drop below it, then yeah, we could go for some lower levels towards that 6,700 area, and then we'll go just from there, guys. For now, let's keep it short and simple, and like I said, these are the ones that I'm targeting right now. I'm targeting the 200-day EMA initially, but if we start falling back down here and fall below the 6,872 territory, I'll aim for the downside, at least a little bit, because initially I'll aim for the 6,800 zone because it did provide good support recently, although we did violate it later on. But again, don't want to go into too far into different ideas, not to overcomplicate things here. But yeah, for now I'm leaning towards the upside. Sorry, the German index DAX. Yeah, this one had a fantastic push yesterday. Look at this. I mean, guys, look at this rally. We opened up with a gap to the upside. We didn't even fill it and just continued to push higher and higher. So we gained around 2.4%. So yeah, so that was a good result. And now, like I said, looking at this picture here, we can see that yeah, we will continue aiming higher. Let me just quickly double check the cash index, guys. I mean, I want to see what's happening here. So okay, so we're sitting around 13,420 zone. So basically just slightly above yesterday's close, and we are above this 13,375. So yeah, good result here, and I would say I'll continue aiming to the upside today. I'll initially aim for this 100-day EMA. Of course, I would like to go for this downside line. Oh, by the way, with this level, I think we will ignore it a little bit. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be aiming for. Now, this looks much better. This 13,525 territory, I'll aim for that one. It coincides with the 100-day EMA as well, so good potential target. Above that, we do have that downside line, which I mentioned before, because overall, I mean, you probably can see here that we might be forming something of a descending triangle pattern on a bigger picture, so that would be quite interesting to see if that's actually the case. For now, just let's keep it short and simple, and like I said, yeah, if we do continue to trade above the 13,375, because don't forget that after such a steep up move, we might see a bit of a retracement, maybe, but if we continue to trade above this hurdle, I'm going to aim for that 100-day EMA. If we start falling below it and we stay below it, I'll take a neutral stand, because basically here, what I would like to see here is a move back below this territory right there, guys. This area between the 13,050 and 13,085, something like that, or even better, the drop below the 13,000 psychological 13,000 mark. If we would do that, I would go for the downside. Nasdaq, guys, Nasdaq, yeah, looking at this picture here, we had also a good push, yep. So of course today the US market participants and in general some other market participants, yeah, in general are waiting for the US CPI numbers that are going to come out. Now the expectation is for a decline. So from the year-on-year number, the headline CPI year-on-year figure is expected to decline from 8.5 to 8.1. Now, this is going to be quite interesting to see what's going to happen further, because, well, if it does drop further below the below the forecast, well, that's going to be this might not be great for the indices, because basically that means that the economy is like normalizing and stabilizing. That means the Fed could proceed with the rate hikes, and that means that we could see, which the rate hikes are not good for the stock market, so that's why we could see a bit of a decline. However, how we could see such a reaction initially, let's say. But again, let's see how this is going to come out. I mean, if it's going to be, let's say, very close to the forecast, or let's say on the lower side, but close to the forecast, then maybe, we could see maybe a little drop lower, but then maybe, the index, the market participants could think that, hey, like, I mean, let's, push this one as much as we can for now, and then we'll deal with with the Fed when it comes to that point. But if it really goes lower, I mean, like, if it goes significantly to the downside, then we could see maybe a reversal in the market earlier. So keep that in mind. Now the S&P 500, guys. The S&P 500. Looking at this picture here, also, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but let me just adjust a few levels here. I think it's time to do that, because I think I haven't picked up on this for quite a while. But basically, yesterday you can see that we had a hold up near this 4,112 territory nicely. We stayed below it. We stayed below it. But in general, the path, you can see where it's going right now. We are moving nicely to the upside. Similar story as with Nasdaq, guys. The cash index right now is pushing further north. We're currently sitting at around 4,126 right now. So initially, actually, I'm aiming for that. I was initially aiming for that 200-day EMA, but again, let's see how all this is going to play out, guys. For now, it is what it is. If you missed the rally here, I would say, you can wait for it. Wait for it to see what's going to happen. And then we could try to do something about it. Maybe we could actually go for the downside, go for a bit of a corrective move lower. So this is something for you to consider later on. But at the moment, looking at this picture, if it will continue going higher, I'll aim for that 200-day EMA initially. Now, jumping into the dollar index. So, beautiful decline, beautiful drop below that 21-day EMA. So, everything's, I would say, working out nicely here for the sellers, and everything is according to the plan, which I've mentioned. That said that, look, if we drop back below this highlighted territory, what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to aim for that 21-day EMA initially. We got a little hold up here initially, and then it dropped straight away. And for now, to be honest, as long as it's going to stay below that 21-day EMA, I'm going to continue aiming lower. However, keep your eyes today on the CPI numbers that are going to come out. So check the economic calendar, what time it will be according to your location. But at the moment, at this point in time, if we just leave everything as it is right now, then I would continue. I would continue aiming lower, and then we'll see. Guys. At the moment, like I said, it is, but lower only up until this upside support line. Now, gold, interesting. Okay, yesterday I talked about this, and I said that, look, maybe, just maybe, we could be forming here a possible rising wedge pattern, which, according to all the TA rules, tends to break to the downside. Now, once again, this 1728 level held nicely. We did overshoot it initially. We did climb higher. We didn't even climb above that 21-day EMA. But look at this. What happened here? We drifted back down. We drifted back into this formation. Now, will this be the case that this is a rising wedge pattern? To be honest, who knows? Because initially it looks like that, but we need a confirmation break here through the lower side of this potential pattern in order to consider this as a possible rising wedge pattern. So I have the arrow drawn here, but actually I'm going to reuse it for now from the shorter term perspective. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep something like this in mind. So if we do drop below this upside line, or the lower side of the potential rising wedge pattern, then yeah, this could lead to some lower levels. If we also fall below that 1708 zone, that's going to be attractive as well for the sellers. So, you know, keep that in mind. But if we do pop above the 21-day EMA, ignore the whole rising wedge idea. I think that might go for a larger correction here to the upside. WTI oil. So yeah, held nicely below that 21-day EMA. Now, looking at this picture, I think it's getting messier and messier. You know what? Let's start fresh. So basically, what do we have here? We have here a declining instrument, a declining commodity. Let's say if we just analyze, let's say the EMAs here, we can see that yeah, the 21-day crossed the 100, crossed the 200. So in general, I would say the sentiment is bearish. Okay, guys, sorry for going quiet there. Had to clear up my throat. It's early morning for me here. Okay. Now, again, like I said before, we have the EMAs that have crossed already. So in general, it looks bearish. Okay, so that's one thing. We have, let's say, if we do look at the RSI, we can see that it's below 50, so showing it's showing falling momentum. Yep. So another negative thing, we are below the we are on the MACD. We are below zero, and that means that yep, it's also showing negative price momentum here. So the only thing is that we have started climbing. We have started climbing back above the signal line, so it means that yeah, there is some hope maybe, and maybe this is the the reaction that we're getting. Again, don't forget that these indicators are lagging, so it's not always showing the future as you would like to see, maybe as we would like to see this. Just bear with me one moment, guys. Yeah. Okay, my voice is not the best today, so I do apologize for these pause, guys. I mean, sorry, but I had to kind of clear up my throat a little bit here. But anyway, excuse me. So what we're gonna do now? I have drawn this tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 14th of June. Again, we could try to maybe draw something like this, which could be an interesting one as well, an interesting concept. However, not really ideal. It's like trying to see something where it's not. But let's say right now I'm gonna keep an eye on this downside line. Maybe something will grow into it. Maybe this instrument will grow into this downside line. That means what I'm talking about is that maybe we'll drift a little bit higher, test this downside line, and then drift back down. So yeah, at this point in time, I would say if you're looking for some downside, then probably the safer option is to wait for a drop below the 81.21 zone right here. For the upside, ideally, I would like to see a push above this barrier, the 97.65. But yeah, if we do break this downside line, I will start aiming for the upside earlier. Quick update on Litecoin. So I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but to be honest, it's working out nicely. So previously I talked about this and said that, look, if we break this downside line, we could go higher. Initially, I'll target this territory, this whole area between the 63.30 and the 64.68 levels. Well, we've managed to reach that, and this area is now acting as a good area of resistance. So if you're looking for some higher levels, I would say We can wait here right now. We can play the waiting game. I think I'm gonna redraw this a little bit, and just to be a little bit more on the safe side. And if we clear this territory right there, right here, guys, then yes, we could go higher. So at the moment, I would say this way, that if we do clear this barrier here, then yeah, I will go to the upside. If we do clear this area between the 64.68 and the 65.80, then yeah, this is where more buyers could join in. So at the moment, I mean, some of you might say maybe, just maybe, this could be forming something of a little bullish flag here, but again, that's not true. That's not because we don't have a really beautiful pole here. What we have here is, to be honest, nothing. We don't have much here, and I think this downside line has to go, which we have drawn. So basically, we could have ourselves a nice little range here. But for that, we need to see a clear break through some of the levels that we have here. So at the moment, I'm gonna keep that in mind. If we do, as long as we, let's say, continue to trade in this little territory right here, I'm gonna take a neutral stand, because basically this could be seen as a range here, and if that's the case, then guys, I mean, yeah, we need to see a clear breakout through the lower side of this potential range idea. Now, jumping into a few pairs, AUD CHF. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, judging by these arrows here. Previously, I talked about this little idea of a range here. We've kind of violated it, and this is one of those, I have to admit, that didn't really, let's say, work out as I maybe wanted it to work out. But one thing I'll do here is I'll remove all the drawings and I'll start a little bit fresh. Now, one thing for sure, what happened here is that we broke this 0.6582 territory, and now we are shifting lower towards this lowest point of July near the 0.6510, and this is where it's going to be quite interesting to see if we're going to get a hold up or not. If not, guys, this opens the door towards further declines. We could go for that 0.6484, or even all the way here towards the lowest point of December of last year near the 0.6415. So potentially it could be quite interesting, but don't rush into anything. For now, like I said, I'm just aiming for that the lowest point of July. In terms of the upside, now what I would like to see here is maybe a push somewhere above this territory at the moment. Again, maybe I'll change this depending on how this 21-day EMA is going to travel, but 0.6224, 25 zone, that's what I'm going to be looking for. If we do clear this, I'll go higher. If we because at the same time we could go above the 21-day EMA. USD JPY, guys, looking at this beautiful correction here happening, so everything is according to the plan. Again, watching the CPIs today, guys, the US CPIs, don't forget about that. So let's see what's going to happen, if we can break this upside line or not. At the moment, what I'm considering here is potentially, again, this is just an idea. So let's say the CPIs come out, on the lower side, and this could strengthen the dollar. And if that's the case, for example, then let's say before the CPIs, we could see USD JPY drifting a little bit lower, maybe eventually testing this upside line, and then if, let's say, the CPIs come out on the lower side, then we could see a nice rebound here back to the upside. So again, this is me trying to maybe predict the future a little bit here, so apologies for that. But again, this is one of those scenarios I will pick up. We'll see what happened tomorrow, if I was right or not. That would be interesting. If I was wrong, then well, I'll have to shamefully admit that. But anyway, for now, like I said, this is the idea I'm keeping in mind. If we drop below the yesterday's low, then yes, I'll aim for this upside support line. USD CHF, so continues to slide. Beautiful decline. Yesterday I talked about this hurdle, 0.9578. I said to you yesterday that, look, if we drop below this area, my next target is the 200-day EMA. We've got that. Mission accomplished. I wouldn't say, team, we're heading home, because at the moment it continues to slide. So again, also keeping an eye on the CPIs, and maybe we will drift a little bit more to the downside here today before the CPIs, and then again, like I said, this is where I'm coming from with my theory of with what could happen here. So we could continue maybe seeing this one sliding. However, if we suddenly start seeing, let's say, USD CHF, USD JPY pushing strongly to the upside before the CPIs, now this would worry me, because maybe then the CPIs might not come out very strong, and maybe we could see then a huge decline later on after the CPIs. So that's where I'm coming. You need to keep an eye on that, guys. So keep monitoring it carefully. At the moment, I'm leaning further south for this one, as long as it stays below the 200-day EMA. GBP USD very quickly on that one, also pushing nicely to the upside. So again, also looking quite nice here. Everything's working out positively. So yesterday I talked about this barrier, the 1.1639. We are now testing the 21-day EMA. Can we stay above it? Let's wait and see. Okay, yeah, not my day today with my throat. Okay, so, yeah, guys, apologies for going blank all the time here, so, but I think I've managed to finally clear my throat, and, yeah, well, just on time before the end of the video. But anyway, looking at this, like I said, looking at this picture here, I am leaning more towards the upside, of course. But again, given the day today, let's see what's going to happen, and let's see if we can get my scenario played out. But at the moment, looking at this picture, if everything stays as it is, then yes, I am aiming for the upside. GBP JPY, beautiful push back up. So. Okay, so yesterday I talked about this, and I said that, look, maybe we'll get a bit of a larger here correction to the downside, but I think that, yeah, the market here had the other view, and we've popped above this 166.25 level, which I've also mentioned. I said that, look, if you want to go higher, this is the area to wait for, and we've popped above it, so now I'm going to continue targeting the upside. We have a strong area of resistance right here, roughly between the 168.43 and the 168.73 levels, and then we'll go from there, guys. And EURUSD, haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but I think I need to redraw a lot of things here, so remove drawings. And before I start drawing here, I'll say that, look, some of you might say that, hey, maybe, just maybe, this could be seen as a potential, maybe, inverted head and shoulders pattern here, with the neckline being a little bit inclined here like this. So if that's the case, okay, that means that we need to see a clear breakout first. So if we do clear this downside line, then yes, this could open the door to some higher levels, of course, initially towards that 100-day EMA, and then I'm going to keep an eye on that 200-day EMA as well. At the moment, I would say, yeah, let's wait and see. It could be quite interesting. At the same time, we could also consider maybe, for the positive, on the positive side, we could consider maybe this this up move here. This trend line, and if you want to overcomplicate the chart a little bit more, then you could keep an eye on this little hurdle here, this 1.3245, and this is for maybe it could be looked at from the shorter term perspective, because basically what I'm leaning here to is maybe we could have ourselves a nice little ascending triangle pattern. So the neckline here could work out perfectly with the ascending triangle pattern idea, and let's say this breakout could open the door to much higher levels, so keep that in mind. However, if we do start dropping back below the 21-day EMA and below this upside support line, then, well, ignore the whole maybe head and shoulders pattern here, the inverted head and shoulders pattern, and we could see this one declining back to the downside. And finally, EURUSD, guys. So yeah, good move, strong move yesterday. We managed to break the trend line, and but we failed to stay above it. So again, it's going to be quite interesting to see what's going to happen today. Don't be surprised if, let's say, the EURUSD is not going to do much, for example, and it's going to be also quite interesting to see if we can actually get a breakout here through this downside line, and if we can stay above it. If we can do that, then yes, great, I'll go higher. If we're gonna struggle with that, then yes, I'm gonna shift my attention to some lower levels. And then initially I'm gonna keep an eye on this 1.0030 level right here. Good potential area. At the same time, if we drop below this hurdle, we drop below the 21-day EMA, so everything could lead into a nice move here back to the downside. So again, we're near this downside line, guys. We have the CPIs today, US CPIs, so watch out for some action on this pair and some other USD pairs as well. So okay, guys, again, once again, I would like to really apologize for for me kind of constantly clearing my throat. I'll try to not do that tomorrow, but yeah, apologies for that, apologies for the interruptions, but thank you very much for staying. And I can see, yeah, for the likes, guys, really thank you very much for that. I don't know for what, but for it wasn't very great maybe video, but hey, thank you very much, guys. In either way, I really appreciate that. So I hope you have a fantastic trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.